Joining us now to provide some personal insight on the VA and related issues, retired Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant Jessie J. Duff. She's also a current member of the Organizing Committee for Concerned Veterans of America. Jessie Jane, welcome back to America's Forum. We really do appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Now, Jessie Jane, last week, President Obama accepted Secretary Shinseki's resignation. You see this was something you had called for. Others were concerned about it. For now, Sloan Gibson, the undersecretary, will head the VA. We're, of course, awaiting for a confirmation process in the Senate. Shinseki said his commitment to veterans drove him to resign. The move, of course, coming after months of reports with all the problems with the VA system. So the bottom line, Jessie, is this. Is Sloan Gibson a good choice to stand in temporarily? Could you envision him becoming the consensus choice as the next Secretary of Veterans Affairs?
Well, I'd hate to try to make any prediction right now because I would have never expected Secretary Shinseki to have basically claim he was unaware of all the problems that were going on within the VA when the administration was forewarned in 2008 that numbers were being misreported by the field. So, I'm not even going to stick my neck out there right now and assume anybody is good or bad one way or another. Only time can tell. The VA is a mass culture of corruption. This is something that if I was aware of a year ago and called for Secretary Shinseki's resignation a year ago, how on earth could he have been so blind? How on earth could he have buried his head so deep? I do believe that the IG within the VA has been very aggressive, going after multiple medical facilities throughout the United States. Over 40 are being investigated now. We have seen serious claims and accusations come out by various whistleblowers across the nation. Everything from Albuquerque, New Mexico, giving 4 months wait time for people with brain tumors, gangrene, and heart disease. Harlingen, Texas, in 2010, wouldn't allow men to get colonoscopies unless they had cancer screenings come out positive 3 times. By then, they were in stage 4 cancer. Sharon Hellman, the director of the Phoenix facility, had already submitted fraudulent numbers in 2009 on veteran suicide numbers, and yet was still promoted. So I think this culture is so deep with corruption and a lack of integrity that it's going to be more than just one man or woman who can make this change. They will have to make multiple firings. They're going to have to clean house on extreme levels, and they've got to get to the root of what their dysfunction is. I hope to see portability for these veterans that are in the wait right now because it's been available since the Clinton era, but yet the VA has been reluctant to give that opportunity to those veterans who have had long waiting periods for appointments.
Jessie, what is your response to the thought that the VA should sell, the facility should be sold into the private sector?
Well, I don't think that's a realistic thought. As much as I'm an economics thrifty person, I'm a conservative. I don't think it's realistic. That's like saying let's get rid of the IRS or the Department of Energy. We've known the Department of Energy was created in the 70s to pull America off of foreign oil. How'd that get us? How far did that go? And we still have them. We've only created more government, not less government. We now have Homeland Security. We all go through the airport with TSA and watch all of us all but get strip searched and our shampoo thrown away. I mean, really, we have more government now than we've ever had. We have not gotten it down smaller. So in theory, that would be a marvelous idea. Is it going to happen? I wouldn't hold my breath. Not in my lifetime, not in your lifetime. So I do demand we work with what we do have. They're getting a $160 billion budget coming in 2015. They have a $150 billion budget now. They've never been denied the resources that they need. I demand that they use those resources, those taxpayer dollars, and take care of these veterans effectively and efficiently as they are required to do.
And Jessie Jane, that brings us to the real bone of contention. For example, in the hours just before he resigned at the White House, Secretary Shinseki was advocating the bill drawn up by Senate Veterans Chairman Bernie Sanders, the self-identified socialist.
Pork Sanders?
Yeah, and
pork.
this is that's exactly the distinction. Seems to me that you had a bill offered in the House from Jeff Miller. Marco Rubio tried to bring it forward. Harry Reid would not let that happen. And again, the extra spending you were talking about would be sopped up by the very bureaucrats who are the problem. Is that the essence of the
Exactly.
Bernie Sanders bill and something we have to keep an eye on here?
Yes, Bernie Pork Sanders likes to entice veterans with more money, and the average veteran is probably thinking that sounds like a good idea. You read a bill, and it sounds like it's going to take care of more people, throw more money into the pile. But I ask all veterans out there who have ever managed a budget to understand that we have a $17 trillion debt. We have a responsibility to be economically and fiscally responsible. They already have a $160 billion budget coming. It's the second largest budget next to DOD. So I ask all veterans, let's be fiscally smart, not get on the bandwagon of spend, spend, spend. Let's demand accountability, and we can do well with what we have. Every veteran should support the VA Management and Accountability Act, Senate Bill S. 2013. Write your senators, ask them to co-sign it, ask them to pass it, let them get it through. You're 100% correct. That House bill passed by 390 votes to 33. Nancy Pelosi and John Boehner both voted for it. It's purely bipartisan. It is 3 pages and only 27 lines. Bernie Pork Sanders decided to block it on the floor by 2 false arguments. The first false argument he said was we need to have hearings. There were already hearings in the House. We need to review this. I'm sorry, Bernie, do you read slow? It's 3 pages, 27 lines. The second false argument was he claimed that this would allow future administrations to just fire executives randomly. False argument. DOD has the same privilege now to fire executives at the SES level, and that's what Secretary Hagel can do. So did Secretary Gates, who used it in 2007 during the Walter Reed scandal. So why should Secretary Hagel have more authority than the Secretary of the Veterans Administration?
Why
Randomly
indeed? That's the good question, Jessie Jane Duff. We do appreciate your time, your encyclopedic knowledge of the crisis confronting the Veterans Administration. Heck, if President Obama got smart, he ought to nominate you for the job because you know where the problems are,
good
even though
golly.
there's a philosophical disagreement perhaps in many areas. But it'd be a breath of fresh air. Jessie Jane Duff,
Well,
we appreciate
Thank
your
you
time.
so much.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much for inviting me. I appreciate your time. Thank
We
you.
look forward to having you back. So you heard from Jessie Jane, it's not a matter of money, but wise spending. Your comments invited. Tweet us your comments at Newsmax TV, #America's Forum. Your comments coming up.